Hi, and welcome to Startup TV. My name is Michael McCarthy, and I'm your host. Startup TV highlights startup businesses in the Boston metropolitan area, and the idea came to me while I was working at Harvard University as a teaching assistant. The class where I was a teaching assistant was called Entrepreneurship and Innovation at Harvard Extension. It is open to the public, and anyone can register for the class. The head professors, Jim Fitchett and Bill Wellman, had two guests who were venture capitalists to speak to the students. When they came, they mentioned that one of their challenges was they will see hundreds and hundreds of startup pitches. A startup pitch is basically the PowerPoint presentation and the sales presentation of why within 10 or 15 minutes you should get money from a venture capitalist to fund your business. They see hundreds of these people. After hundreds of them, maybe one will get funding. My idea as the teaching assistant was to shrink down that time for the venture capitalists by starting Startup TV. So now startups who I think have great ideas can come be on our show, and within the 1 hour show, we slice out their pitch, which is only about 10 to 15 minutes long. Then they're able to email that video pitch to different venture capital firms, which saves the VCs a lot of time by listening to pitches in only 15 minutes. They click on it, if they like it, they go, and then they can meet those people in person. And it also helps the startup businesses also reach a lot of people, get their pitches out there without having to do a lot of networking, trying to get an appointment, get a clean suit from the dry cleaner, and show up at the appointment. So this is basically saving a lot of time for the venture capitalists as well as the startups. And what I'd like to do tonight is to share with you a new startup company that I think has a lot of promise. And I'd like to welcome Ali Barouz and Eli Dagger. Welcome to the show, guys.
Thank you, Michael.
Thank you, Michael.
So tell me, you are students at the Entrepreneurship and Innovation class. Eli, why did you sign up for the class?
Well, it was part of my management program at the Harvard Extension School. The whole reason why I went to the Harvard Extension School for my management program is because of that class, because I wanted to take that class. So I finally took it, and I'm really satisfied by it. So I'm really happy because I get to meet a lot of interesting people, great staff, great teaching assistant.
Thank you. I appreciate the plug. Ali, why did you take the class?
Yeah, so this is actually the first course I'm taking in Harvard Extension. And that's for a similar reason. I did want to do a management certificate. And within the company I currently work in, I kind of have an intrapreneur role, and I wanted to learn more about pitching ideas to business management. And so I started with this course. And as Eli pointed out, it was great in meeting awesome people. Again, I met Eli through this course, and a lot of other people that help you and encourage you come up with new ideas.
So when you took the course, did you have a business idea in mind at the time?
I didn't have this business idea or any business idea that I wanted to work on for that course, for this course in mind. But when I started thinking about the project and about my background in image processing and some of the new industries, and started talking to Eli, we both wanted to work on 3D printing, and so this idea, I would say serendipitously, merged from our thoughts and discussions.
So you said one thing that's interesting. You mentioned that you had a previous strength that you brought to this project. Can you tell us a little bit more about that strength?
Yeah, so I work as an algorithm scientist, and I develop image processing algorithms, mainly 3D image processing algorithms for medical imaging purposes. And so that means you use a lot of computational and mathematical techniques to reconstruct 3D images that could have some useful anatomical information. That skill set also applies to other areas where you want to reconstruct a surface or a 3D object. And so in this case, it became very useful for the idea we had towards 3D printing.
And Eli, how about you? Where did this idea come from?
Well, when I first started the class, originally I was working on a different idea. I had a problem with creating a 3D printed item while working on my initial idea, which is a hardware piece. And a few years ago, I had a big problem trying to find a 3D printer that I could use, or a service that can help me create my item. So, out of frustration, this came
Usually that's where the best ideas come out of.
Mhm.
So you had some interest in 3D printing. You knew about 3D printing as well. So why don't you share with us tonight, what's your idea?
Okay, so the idea is that I think, and Eli pointed it out a little bit, is that 3D printing is a very fast growing industry, and it has helped many sectors, including manufacturing sector and some industrial sectors, do fast hardware prototyping. But the general public, mainstream market, cannot take full advantage of the benefits of 3D printing. Okay, I mean, when was the last time you used 3D printing? So
Never.
but proof of concept studies and demonstrations have shown that you can 3D print a lot of personal items, jewelry, even fixtures for your household items like furniture. But people cannot use 3D printing, take advantage of 3D printing benefits because if they want a custom object, they cannot produce a 3D model from that object, easily create a 3D model from that object that they can feed into a 3D printer. Also, they don't have access to 3D printers that support a variety of materials. And so our idea is to have a website and an app that would allow general users who have no prior experience with 3D printing and don't have any professional 3D design and modeling experience, take advantage of the benefits of 3D printing by uploading pictures and descriptions to our website and getting 3D printable models from them, and then finding local shops where they can 3D print them and have them shipped to them.
So, for example, could I take this phone and photograph this pen and upload it to you and have you make me the pen?
Yeah, so that's one of the more important features of this website is that you can upload multi-view pictures of a fixture or an item that you want to make a copy of, and we will create a 3D model from there, a virtual 3D model, and we'll give you options to have that 3D printed at local shops for prices that are listed on the website.
So Eli, what other kind of things could a consumer print?
Well, you could be creative, and you can print out a lot of things. I mean, you can start with basic plastic components, like it could be like as you said, like a phone case, maybe a pen. But at the same time, you can print out metal components like screws, discontinued items from that you have at home. Let's say you broke a handle, a door handle that you can't find anywhere. You can print it because it's not, the Home Depot or Lowe's, they don't carry it anymore.
So I'm intrigued with you being able to make me something that I can't buy anywhere else. So my question is, can you print obsolete products?
Yeah, and I think that would be one of the biggest applications of our software, our website, is that if you have a product or a product part or a part that belongs to an obsolete product, and the manufacturer doesn't make that part anymore, and you need to get that replaced, you can take pictures of it, upload it to this website, and describe how, if there are any design corrections that needs to be made to that, and everything is going to happen virtually on the website until you get the 3D model of the object that you want. And once that 3D model is perfectly matches what you like, you can get it 3D printed. So yeah, absolutely.
So what would happen if, let's say, for example, I like to collect old cars, and it can be a challenge to find a part. If I brought you a broken part and I brought you a picture of it, I have one part, but it might be in two pieces. How would you handle that?
Yeah, so if you have a broken part that's in two pieces and you take images of each piece, an automatic algorithm would generate 3D models of those two pieces. Okay, and then you can work with a designer and you can add a description to your order that you would like these two parts to be joined. And this is something that can be done usually using 3D design very easily. You have two 3D models and you join them same way we can join two pictures and paste them next to each other. And then you can look at the corrected part on our website virtually. And once you see that and you're happy with the part, you can get it printed.
So let's say I'm not very good at technical stuff, but I can take a picture of, let's say, two parts, for example. Do you have designers at your facility that are going to put those images together to make it correct? Assuming that I'm not very good at what I do, I'm a layperson. Are you going to help me with that?
Yeah, absolutely. So one of the, I would say, Uberized aspects of this website is that we're going to connect freelance designers from around the world to the buyers, to users who are looking for a design correction to what they want to print. So going back to your example, if you have uploaded pictures of a part that is faulty or it's broken, and now you have a 3D model of that, but you need a design correction, you can connect with the designers, freelance designers from around the world. So you're in Boston, you could connect with somebody, a designer in Japan, who can quote you a rate for doing this design correction, which will be very fast, and you will work with that designer, and once you're happy with the design correction, you could examine the corrected object, the corrected virtual object. If you're happy with that, you go to.
So I like the idea that you can create a part that you can't get anywhere else. I like that idea. Eli, what other kinds of applications would this have?
Just on another note, Jay Leno, since he collects a lot of old antique cars, that's how he actually gets his spare parts, because he can't find them anywhere. He actually ended up buying a $15,000 printer or something like that, and then that's how he print out his components. But the general consumer can't afford a $15,000 printer. But if you have one sitting, you can make money out of it by taking printing orders from these people, and that's what we're trying to help people out with. Is trying to bring the buyers and the printer owners together.
So you could actually make a car part out of metal, something that would be stable?
Absolutely. There's actually over 100 different materials that you can use in printers, and so there's no one printer that can do it all, and that's why 3D printer owners will still need our service, because at some point in their life they might, or not their life, but at some point they might still need a different kind of printer to print a different type of material, different part, different precision. So they need to find other people who own these printers or print shops.
So if I wanted to try to do this on my own, I wanted to be able to print a car part, I wanted to be able to print a plastic piece or a door handle that broke. What's the cost of all the types of printers that I would need? to be able to
Oh,
do
geez.
that.
Yeah, that's astronomical.
Yeah.
If you were to purchase all those printers, I would say, what, like north of
Hundreds
hundreds of
of
thousands, right?
Well, it's a big range of pricing. There's like the cheap models that are like about $350 ones. Those are the cheapest, and there's the open source about $500, and then they go up all the way up to hundreds of thousands of dollars, and sometimes even millions. So not everybody has that kind of money sitting around to just buy a printer that they're only going to use once or twice. And also designers who are actually professional, or they don't have to be professional, they could be like expert or hobbyists who are actually really good at rendering and creating 3D items. They don't always have that much money sitting around to go and buy several different printers. So they need access to that kind of service, so they can use different printers from everywhere without having to actually buy hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of printers.
So you're basically saving them hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Exactly.
Exactly.
And not only you're saving them hundreds of thousands of dollars, you're helping people who own the 3D printers. So let's say you have a high-end 3D printer, as I pointed out before. It's a very high precision metal printer, and you use it from time to time. Now with our service, you can actually make money from printing objects that are ordered by other people. So this creates a shared economy within the 3D printing community, and so it gives everybody access to different types of 3D printing.
Okay, I like the idea. And I know I'm probably starting to ask some questions that are getting into your venture capital pitch. And a lot of our viewers may have never seen a sales pitch to a venture capital firm with the intention of trying to raise money. Could we see your pitch?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. When you're ready, go ahead.
Okay, so the company is 3D Bay. It's a two-person startup at this point. So one of the problems, and I think we got into this a little bit with the questions, but one of the problems that many of us face as individuals from time to time, but then more frequently businesses, companies, shops, and labs face on a regular basis, is that they might need an item, an object, a fixture with a specific shape, design, functionality, color, or material. And today, no affordable, fast solution exists for this problem. We can either go online and try to find something that kind of looks like what we need. And if that's a rare item, like you said, if that belongs to an obsolete machine that is out of production, there's no guarantee that the cost is going to be low. The cost may be extremely high. Or you could go to a machine shop and describe the item to them and wait days, maybe even weeks, and spend a lot of money to get that particular part made. Now, these items could be personal items, like an iPhone car mount. It could be a fixture for a household item, like a doorknob. Or, as I said, more importantly, it could be a replacement part for a heavy-use machine, a replacement part for an antique car, or a custom fixture for fast prototyping in a lab or in a manufacturing unit. Now I want to tell a true story about when this problem becomes a serious business risk. So Edelweiss is a bakery not very far from here, out of Medford, Massachusetts. They're a wholesale bakery, and they make brownies, cookies, chocolate cakes, and they sell them at outlets such as Trader Joe's. And they use a variety of machines, chocolate deposit machines and chocolate stirring machines, as you can see in the slides. And some of these machines are old, and many of them stop working from time to time. Now, this is not specific to the bakery business. It happens in any business where they use such machines. And usually these machines stop working because a part, sometimes a very simple yet hard to replace part, breaks or stops functioning. And the owners hate this problem. They have to take the machine out of production, okay? So the operation suffers, obviously. They have to take the faulty part out and go to a machine shop and wait days or weeks, all the while the production is at halt or it's at its minimal level, and try to get that part made and replaced. If the machine shop cannot replace the part because they don't support that specific material or can't do the design, they have to retire a very expensive machine, and this has happened to them. So we got your help to get in touch with them, and we believe that we could solve this problem using our idea, using 3D printing and our software idea. And so we got a hold of a part that was actually in a chocolate deposit machine. It was a simple part. And we took multi-view pictures of this part. And using our algorithm, as you can see, we were able to build a surface reconstruction of this part. Okay, this all happens in the software virtually. With this surface reconstruction, now I have a 3D model of the parts. I may need to do some design corrections because I've taken a picture of a faulty part. After the design corrections, we fed this part to a 3D printer, a standard plastic 3D printer, and we were able to get this part printed. And we actually have these parts in the studio, if we can show the image. Yeah, so the part that you see on the left is the part that came out of the 3D printer, and on the right you could see the faulty part that we took out of the machine. So we got this part replaced, and this took, the entire process took a couple of hours, and contrast that to a few days that you need to wait for the machine shop to do this. And also this took about $3 to print, which again, compared to a couple of hundreds that you have to spend for the machine shop to build them. So we shared this with the owners, and they got very excited about it. And they told us that they would love to have access to a solution like this on a very regular basis. And so based on these observations, we decided to generalize this solution and Uberize this solution and build a business around it, which is the 3D Bay website and app. And so again, it's a two-person startup right now, myself and Eli, and we both have background, as we spoke about, in software and 3D printing. So our mission, to summarize it, is to bring the benefits of 3D printing to the mainstream market, to the general market. You know, we explain how 3D printing can support a variety of materials. It has fast model to object, model to fixture turnaround. But the general public cannot take advantage of the benefits of 3D printing. And the main reason is that they need to, anybody who wants to use 3D printing, they need to have knowledge of 3D design. They need to have professional 3D design training to be able to create a 3D model based on pictures or based on a concept of what they want to print. And so 3D Bay essentially enables any individual or business with cloud-connected devices to be able to take advantage of 3D printing with no prior experience required. So you could go to our website, upload pictures, upload descriptions, and get what you want, get a 3D model of what you want, and then get it 3D printing. And so Now it's off to Eli to talk more about the product.
Well, so our solution, as Ali already explained, is a web app platform where users can buy, sell, and print their 3D printed files and items. So as we already explained, we have three different consumers: the buyers, the designers, and the 3D printer owners. In order to make this market a bit more mainstream, we want to bring them all together so they can all benefit from the shared economy. In this way, buyers, such as the bakery shop or yourself, can save money and have more choices. The designers can make money by freelancing and selling their designs, and 3D printer owners, they can make money as well by taking printing orders from us, and this is one way for them to recoup the price of the well, they can recoup their big investments, the cost of their big investments. So the product, as you can see, is a web app, and it's a website and then a phone application. So when we first designed this product, we focused a lot on the user experience. We wanted to create an easy-to-use, one-stop shop solution, which is mobile first and fully integrated, where you can access all these services in an easy way. So from the main page, you can pretty much access any of our services. You can scan and upload the product picture. So basically, our algorithm, after you scan, our algorithm will create a 3D file, and it will upload it directly to our website. Or you can go to our catalog and pick a 3D design. These designs are created and supplied by the designers, and so they can sell them as files or as items, as printed items. Or if you already have a file that you already purchased from somewhere else, or that you already created on your PC or your phone, you can just upload it. And finally, you can customize your order, and this is where we connect you with a freelancer, or we can take your direct order and help you out. So from there, the next step is really is to select a 3D print shop based on the criteria that you already asked for. So for example, you can pick different material. You can pick online versus local, or you can also pick different precisions, such as HD in this case. And we'll give you a list of different print shops and different pricing with the reviews, and you select one. And from there, the last step is to just confirm the order and just place it. It's really that easy. 3 easy steps to place your order on our website. So our competition, in order to understand the landscape out there and to better serve our customers, we needed to understand what alternatives they have. So we decided to rate our competition based on affordability and user experience. In this case, user experience is based on accessibility, online connectivity, ease of use, mobile friendliness, rating system, and range of services that they offer and their integration together. So we decided to look at our direct and indirect competitors alike. And as you can see on the left side, you get the indirect competitors, which are pretty much have bad user experience because they're not easy to access, and for most part, they're usually more expensive. So you have Home Depot and Lowe's up there is because usually when you break something or you want to customize an item, you usually go there first and before you go anywhere else. And you get the CNC shops at the bottom, which is really expensive. UPS and Staples are up there because now they serve, they have that service, 3D printing service, where Staples has a better service overall. So we want to be all the way up there where we can find the right balance between user experience and affordability, so we can better serve our consumers. So our advantages is that we're going to be the first integrated mobile platform out there. There's no 3D printing solution out there that offer a phone a mobile service. And as we already know, that over like 70% of consumers now use their phone to to surf the web and do their shopping. We're going to be a one-stop solution to offer our services. You need to combine the top 4 or 5 competitors to serve to pretty much get what we are trying to serve. And we are going to be easy to use. You're going to be able to list once, and you list your item once, and you only create one profile. So instead of creating different profiles on different websites, now you only have to create one profile as a buyer, as a designer, and as a printer owner. You can customize and ask for direct service, which is not being offered by anybody else. And of course, we'll give you more printing, more product, and service choices. And we will definitely be the cheapest in the market. We'll be more affordable. Our business plan. So our business plan is pretty simple. We're gonna make money mostly on processing fees. 10% fee on 3D printing and 10% on 3D designs. Some of our competitors do offer this service, but it's up to 25% fees. And we also gonna be making money by placing relevant advertisements, and we're gonna allow designers and 3D printer owners to promote their items in print shops. And finally, we're gonna make money also from taking custom orders, such as the case with the bakery shop. In the first year, we expect a revenue of $1.8 million with a net profit of $1 million. We have a low operating expense kind of a business because we will be using like a low-cost marketing campaign. And then we're gonna grow in 2017, 2018 to 3 million, and then 2018 to 9 million in revenue. And our operating expense is gonna grow because we're gonna be spending more money on marketing so we can reach more consumers. And here's Ali. We'll talk about the market size.
Yeah. So, so as we mentioned before, 3D printing industry is growing extremely fast, and as you can see, actually Forbes changed their forecast about the future size of the market. It's expected by 2020 to be in excess of $20 billion, the worldwide market. And so we looked at all the market segments of 3D printing to identify those ones that are relevant to our application and to our idea. Okay, and based on the distribution of these market segments, we want to know what parts of the market we can penetrate. And so, as you can see in the pie chart, we have identified 3 major segments of the 3D printing market that we can immediately penetrate with our product. Arts and jewelry, which are a big sector of the personal items, home decoration and furniture and fixtures for household items. And then finally, the biggest sector would be in hardware prototyping. That applies to the replacement parts for machines, custom items for labs and shops. And so most of the financial data that Eli presented are based on our study of these market segment. Move on to marketing. Now, we are a web platform. We are a mobile and a tablet app, and so the best way to market is obviously to do digital marketing. So we're going to obviously try to have promotion to our website. We're going to also try to promote through social media and online journal blogs, forums, and also have YouTube videos. We do want to sponsor community events, especially events that educate people on 3D printing and use of 3D printing. I think that would be a very good way to bring the general public to use 3D printing. And we have come up with a very interesting referral program where Um, if a buyer or a designer or a print shop refers another print shop or a designer to use our website, we can give them points and rewards that they can use on the 3D Bay website. And finally, we're working on building a network like the Edelweiss Bakery Shop that I mentioned, a business-to-business relationship with business entities that are kind of like highly regular customers for this service, who regularly have needs for replacement parts. And so we're trying to reach out to these businesses directly, as we have had in the past, to build a relationship with them and directly take care of their orders. And finally, we are focusing on a few directions for our future growth. First of all, as I mentioned, in the business-to-business direction, we do want to go worldwide. Right now, we're focused on Massachusetts. We want to grow into North America and grow worldwide. We are working on developing APIs for other social platforms such as Twitter or Pinterest, where users can put in their orders for 3D printing on those platforms, so they don't have to go to multiple pages, don't even have to come to our app or our website. We do want to partner up with other 3D printing companies and sponsor educational events. And finally, what I believe to be a very exciting future direction that we're considering is to be able to support virtual reality and augmented reality platforms where these 3D models, especially if they're a piece of furniture, can be visualized in a living room, and users can tinker with their design before they get them 3D printed. So I think now we can take any questions.
I love it, and I always have questions. So let me ask you this. What's the Achilles heel? What's the weakness that you think you have?
Well, there are a few of those that I think we also need to tackle. I would say the biggest right now is that growing the user base in all three customer categories that we have, which means the buyers, the designers, and the print shops, is extremely important. In other words, if we cannot grow our user base in all of these categories, there would be something like a missing link there. If we're low on designers or low on print shops, not all orders can be fulfilled. And I think that there's a challenge there for us to make sure that we grow in all these customer categories all simultaneously.
Can you start slow and in one area, or do you have to hit it all at the beginning?
That's what we're trying to do, especially with the business-to-business component, where we're trying to focus on specific problems with customers that would have regular need for this. And with those customers, we can ourselves do some of the heavy lifting that's associated with design, for example, and try to focus on specific materials, but with 3D printing. So that way is, I think, a good way for us to bootstrap this business.
So Eli, who do you think your best customer is? Who's your most ideal customer?
Well, our tier 1 customers right now are the 3D printer owners, and the designers. We spoke to a few of them in the Massachusetts area, and they were very excited about signing up for our service, because especially the printer owners, because they want to recoup some of that cost of buying these printers. They're sitting on their desk that they're not using. They only use them once a month. So so we found almost we have 100% sign up for any people for all these kind of customers that we talked about.
But that's not really a customer, that's a fulfillment arm of your business.
Well, as we already explained earlier, these could be also buyers because they still need help. So all these printer owners that we talked to, most of them don't have any experience or they're not very good at creating designs. So they still need the help from designers to get what they need. So they always need each other's help.
But let me ask this question. So if you have a 3D printer and you have a designer, you still don't have a customer. So my question is, who is your ideal customer? Who's actually going to be buying a 3D manufactured product? Who would that be?
I think to add to that, some of the businesses like the bakery shop, like Edelweiss, like the European Auto Solutions, who are folks who want to get replacement parts, would be ideal customers for a couple of reasons. Most importantly is that they have this regular need, it happens so often that they will need a part for a car that they're trying to fix, more so than for individuals. And I think they would be an ideal customer that could work with the designers and the 3D print shops that Eli is mentioning to get their orders fulfilled.
And just so that all of our viewers understand this portion of our show, you guys don't know what I'm asking.
So,
And I'm actually asking real questions that the venture capitalists want to know. I'm on their side right now. I'm asking them the question, should I be giving you my money? And I want to try to figure out, is my money safe? Is this a good idea? And am I going to be making a good return? So when you came to me with this initial idea when we were in class, I love the idea. The only part of it that I really like is for people who have no other place to go.
Mm-hmm.
And that would be Edelweiss Patisserie, because they have machines that are no longer being produced. You are the only person they can go to, and you are better than a custom machine shop. The same thing for European Auto Solutions in Waltham, Mass. They have taken care of all of my classic cars, and some of them are so old that those parts don't exist anymore. And it's a confined market, and your profit margin could be almost whatever you wanted to set. What I'm not clear about is, why would you want to spend your time on a consumer market where someone says, I want you to make me an earring or a pen top, and the most you can charge is maybe $5, when you could do an auto part on a 90-year-old Rolls Royce where you could charge incredibly large amounts of money? Why do you think it's good for you to put your energies into such low-cost, low-margin consumer products?
So, and I think Eli probably has some stuff to add to this, but I don't think the efforts that go into the two sectors that you mentioned are mutually exclusive. I believe that if we have the algorithmic and software capabilities to support the need of Edelweiss Patisserie or European Auto Solutions, somebody in need of a fixture for a jewelry piece would be a low-hanging fruit. And I believe that as our user base grows, although a fixture for jewelry or a car mount for an iPhone or a coffee mug may not happen for an individual at a very regular level, but as our user base grows and people start using 3D printing, there will be a lot of users, a lot of just normal individuals who would have such needs. So, we could get into recurring orders in those directions as well. And so the question that we asked ourselves after thinking about it a similar way is that, why wouldn't we? I mean, if it doesn't take all that much effort to support multiple needs, why would we limit ourselves to just the bakery shop or car fixing? We could have a bigger reach. Do you have stuff to add to that?
Yeah, if I may add, So there's been a lot of studies that show that people don't know that they need a 3D printer until they actually get introduced to it. So pretty much kind of like when smartphones first came out, at first I was one of the first people to say, why do I need this? I have internet at home. I don't need it. So same thing happens to 3D printing as well, where people now they don't know that they need it, but when they get introduced to it, there's a lot of studies that shows that actually they end up being being good users of it, especially women. There's more women are more likely to use 3D printers than men when they get introduced to 3D printing concept.
Why?
Because they're more creative overall. They end up creating better jewelry and better designs. So basically, a lot of people, when they have like an event for their children, could be like a graduation or baptism or something, they want to create this special item that they can give away to people. So and that's where a lot of people are now finding 3D printing helpful, is that they end up customizing an item for wedding or any kind of events, and then basically this is something that you can't find anywhere else.
So do you think larger companies, let's say Tesla Motors, GM, Ford, they might have a concept car, that they would farm out some of their concept production to you instead of them having standalone divisions that may have to make these custom parts? Do you think you could pick up some of that business?
I do believe we can help out startups more than big corporations, because startups don't always have the money and the accessibility to buy these printers. I think this is where we can actually help them out. So we can help mostly companies at any stage, but I think we are more helpful to the startup community than and the students and the general consumers than the actual professionals.
Well, I understand that you could be more helpful to startups who are trying to do something in manufacturing, but they don't have nearly the money that a General Motors or a Ford or any larger manufacturing company would have. Would you turn down that business if they said, hey, we want to start to outsource to you?
No. Obviously, we want to keep our, all of our customers in.
You're smelling the money.
Well, I do want to say that I don't know at what stage they would want to do, if they want to, outsource the manufacturing, like the end user product manufacturing, or not. But I think, with these companies, obviously at the R&D stage, a lot of times they also want to do fast prototyping. So let's say they want to build a custom car, but they don't want to spend a lot of time, designing the machines that can build those parts. And so 3D printing is a good way for them to test these concept cars. And I think that would be actually a very excellent way for them to use our services, is that they could, they want to test the concept car, and instead of building the production line for that custom car, which is, they don't know if it has a market or not, they can use 3D printing and our services to very quickly prototype the parts for that car and test it, and then test it as far as market and performance and such.
So here comes my favorite question. It's not my question, someone gave me the idea. They say that there are countries that have fleets of airplanes that are aging. And when they get a new replacement part, it doesn't fit because the planes are so old they've actually warped. So my question is, could you 3D print a warped new replacement part that would fit into an old airplane?
Yeah, so I think that's an interesting point. I think our product is at least right now the best candidate for a problem like that, and that's simply because with the problem you're describing, it's a custom part, okay? So even if the original parts are available, they need to be slightly warped, and so even the original parts don't work on the planes that you're describing, correct? Mm-hmm. So either if you have a 3D model of the original part, if you could have pictures of the original part, and you could work with the designer on our website to give it the warping that it needs, based on what currently would fit into the plane and what the original part looks like. And once you have the virtual 3D model, then you could feed it to a 3D printer. What actually excites me about our service is that we are pitching this as a 3D printing, and our main, I think, revenue will come from 3D printing. But the 3D model that we built can be fed into a CNC machine as well. It can be fed into
What's a CNC machine?
So CNC machines are what before 3D printing, it has higher precision, and it's used for building metal parts. So you could build metal parts. It's not exactly like 3D printing, but it's a machine that's, I think, way more expensive, but also has higher precision, and so it can build you metal parts. And so the same files that are fed into the 3D printer go into CNC machines that are used in high-end manufacturing. And so I guess the short answer to your question is absolutely, and that would be a very interesting market.
It could be interesting. We would see what happens. Have you considered how much money you would like in your first round from a venture capital firm, and what would you do with that funding?
Well, the biggest problem with 3D printing is really the education and reaching out to new customers, because most people don't know about 3D printing yet. It's really still in early stages, still a niche market. So what we need the money mostly is to try to expand our marketing campaign and to reach out to new consumers. And I think we would be looking for $200,000 for 5% for now, and that money, I think we will use it mostly for the marketing, and maybe to hire an extra developer to help us out to complete our platform.
So some of the money is going to be awareness marketing.
Yeah, and reach out, I would say, more so. Awareness as far as not just educating people on 3D printing purely, but obviously educating people on what they can use 3D printing for. And I think that's an excellent direction for bringing this product to the general public. And so the reach out would be, again, to reach out to businesses like Edelweiss and European Auto Solutions and other business entities that will have regular use, or the airplane folks, to reach out to these businesses and entities in general, to see if we can build a relationship with them.
So let's say someone gives you the $200,000. One of the things that a lot of people aren't aware of is not only do you get a check from the venture capitalist, but you get all their contacts and networks, because now they're a part of you. Now they want to help you. They will bring you any contact that will help you, because it ultimately helps them. So have you considered a Dream VC or Dream Angel, which is a smaller investor typically? It's usually an individual, not a company. Can you share with me what the profile of this person? What kind of contacts would they have? What sort of industry do they come from? Who would be your ideal investor who could also help you with their contacts? What do they look like?
Yeah, I think that's an excellent question. And my dream VC, I don't know if they exist or not, but my dream VC would be somebody with both software app and also hardware manufacturing background, which I think a lot of VCs focus on software, and a lot of VCs maybe focus on hardware ideas. And that's because we are a software platform. We do want to grow our user base. We do want to digitally market our software, and at the end of the day, our revenue would would come through avenues, as Eli pointed out, that most apps and software make revenue off transaction fees and advertisements. And so that's the kind of experience and knowledge that we need from the VC and the software side. But as we have been, describing the end use of our product, especially where we can make a lot of money with business to business, folks that have hardware and machine needs, knowledge of those needs and what other applications or industries we could reach out to that have a need that can be fulfilled by our product would also be extremely helpful.
Here goes my next question. It's about coachability. How receptive are you to being coached if this is your baby and if some stranger comes in and drops a check for 200 grand on your head and now they start telling you what to do and giving you opinions of how you should change things, how are you going to feel about that?
Well, I mean, that's common in this industry, right? I mean, we come from engineering backgrounds, and this is very common in a lot of engineering meetings that goes on where people try to change the direction of a certain product or design. This is one of the skills that you acquire as an engineer, is to be able to explain why certain ways are better than other ways, and we don't have a problem if somebody can have a better idea and it can totally convince us that this is the right way to do it, and we're definitely up for it.
Yeah, I agree with that. I would just add that I think one of the venture capitalists that that was presenting in our class actually said something very useful. He said, take our advice, but be careful so you don't end up zigzagging between directions that you're taking. And so I think, yeah, we are, as Eli said, open to taking advice and being coached, but we would also be wary about not zigzagging, because people are, changing their direction.
What do you mean by zigzagging?
So that means that, let's say we're focusing on a particular direction. Let's say right now we're focusing on a business-to-business direction with hardware prototyping. And then all of a sudden there's a VC and they give us the advice that let's go and focus on a completely different industry that's out of our focus, the medical industry. Let's build casts and insoles and orthotics, okay? And then we're focusing on that, and then we focus on that, and then we find out that there's FDA and regulatory burdens there, and then okay, that's not going to work out. Focus on something else, and that would kind of make us zigzag. I think we want to keep our focus and move ahead, but also take advice from VCs.
Okay, now I'm going to give you my final question. What's a great question I should have asked and I didn't? What should I have asked that everyone needs to know?
You have any comments on that?
I guess if maybe you should have asked us if we have any designers lined up, and actually we are in early talks with a few with a group of designers based in Canada who are actually creating like these nice, beautiful, custom-made 3D printed jewelry, and actually they're getting a lot of buzz in the media. So we're still in an early stage. We just contacted them, and I think we will make a great partnership with them because I think we can complement each other, and I think that will supply us with a lot of beautiful designs that they can sell on our site.
So it sounds like your startup has started up already.
We already have. We already have printer owners who want to sign up. We have now designers who want to sign up, and we already have a couple businesses that we helped out with direct orders, and these are only the few that actually we reached out to. And so far, I mean, I know it sounds unrealistic, but it's about 100% sign up to anybody that we reached out to.
You've had a good return rate on whoever we have reached out to, whether it's a buyer wants to use 3D printing, designers, or 3D print shops. They said this is a great idea. We would love to use your website.
It sounds like you're off to a great start, and I appreciate you spending time with with us today and being on Startup TV. Good luck, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you for having us.